Suit up, strap in, warm the tires, and leave on yellow. Time for the MitsuTimes podcast. Presented by MitsuTimes.org, the home of the fastest Mitsubishi cars. With your host, Josh.
Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Josh with MitsuTimes. Today, our guest is Kenny Klein from Just a Tune. How you doing today, Kenny?
Good, yourself?
Great, man. We're here trackside at the shootout, watching some fast cars go down the track. It's been a great weekend. I feel like Friday or Saturday, it felt like it was a week long already, but now it feels like it's just been a couple hours. We had a lot of fast cars yesterday. Rafe almost broke the record. What do you think? Been a pretty good turnout?
Awesome turnout, and Rafe did break the record.
Yeah.
I don't count the cars overseas.
I know as soon as I parked over there, that's what the first thing Ben had come over and said, like, man, we got to take those Greeks off the list.
See? It's just a portable tree setup. That's
right.
They're out making poles out in a dirt parking lot. Cutting like 160 foot, it's like, come on.
Right. Or sub one.
Yeah, so I mean, whatever they're doing over there, I'm sure it's legit. It's just every little centimeter matters when it comes to a time at that speed, so it's just like, whoop. Yeah, but anyways.
So tell us the story of how, when, and why Just a Tune got started.
Not a lot of people know this. It was started off as a joke, kinda. Working in a shop, working on DSMs, working on Mitsubishi, Evos, Subarus, whatever, and customers would bring in their cars for repairs, tuning, and that was kind of like the number one thing that was always said, like, oh yeah, I know my car's good, it just needs a tune, and this is when I was an employee, and it was just the joke, and we heard it so many times, and just the environment in the shop was, oh, you have another one, just needs a tune. We put it on the dyno, and it's like 300 problems, and it's like, yep, okay, just a tune, and it went on. It was we joked with that, for years.
Yeah.
When people would first initially say something like that, here we go.
I mean, you're even seeing it now.
Yeah, well, it's just the nature of the beast,
yeah.
And I think a lot of people don't understand that. They watch YouTube or they see other people's success and they think it's easy, and it is not. I think putting a motor together, building a motor, and getting a car, together, I think that's the easy part. Getting everything to work together and be successful with it, that's the real battle. That's the real battle. People think a motor is expensive. No, it's all the other stuff that really adds up.
Right.
And if someone ever actually kept track of the money that they put into their car, motor's nothing.
Yeah.
If you want to be on a level of competition, like
yeah.
you want to race your car, you want to actually enjoy it, it adds up quick. And but yeah, so the Just a Tune thing was just a joke. I started tuning some cars here and there. I've always been tuning ECMLink for forever.
Yeah.
When it was ECMLink, all the way back to version 2. I started making money because I started offering it to the public, and I needed something for taxes. So the Just a Tune joke was just on fire, man.
Yeah.
And then it was like, let's just call it Just a Tune.
Because
I really didn't want to be a business. I didn't really want that responsibility in like my lifestyle.
Right.
And but I needed a name, and it just kind of just happened, and yeah, no,
just worked out.
That's where it came, and then I had to become an LLC, and blah 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 blah. Again, for tax reasons.
Right.
And PayPal, they 1099 you. Everyone has PayPal.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's how it all started, and I don't really advertise a whole lot.
Yeah.
It's just word of mouth. And I'm a pretty busy guy, but I really cater to the racers. Some people that are racing,
right.
A lot of people, if you race, I don't even charge them. Like, there's some people here that are racing. I'm like, dude, don't even worry about it. Like,
right.
let's win this shit. That's how I've always been.
Right, and that's why I wanted to do your podcast here, trackside, because you didn't even bring a car. You came here to help all your customers.
Yep.
To stay in the game and to go faster, and no one else came here to do that.
No, I mean, in all fairness, my car's not running. But last year I did have a running car, and I just didn't even bring it. I actually enjoy being involved.
Right.
Like when I help out, I help out, you know, Rafe and a couple other guys. Like I offer them all the time, like, hey, if you guys need help, I like it. I don't even watch the racing. Like I haven't watched any racing at all. What Sunday? Haven't seen it pass.
Yeah, it's more fun being in the pits.
Yeah, I like being in the pits. I like being involved, talking to people. Like, you know, whatever knowledge I can share. Just it's a hobby to me.
Right.
And that's it. And like I said, you know, the tuning part, it just happened. It's a hobby, and I like helping people out.
It's got to feel good to have your customers go fast. Maybe even feels better than when you go fast.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So
let's talk about the products and services that Just a Tune offers.
So I mostly just tune on ECMLink, more so because it's easy.
Yeah.
It's just easy. If I have a car in person, like I'll do EvoScan, I'll do you know, open source, I'll do Hall Tech, I'll do Fuel Tech. It's not I mess around with AEM Series 2, and I really try not to get involved in any of that stuff remotely because there's so much more to it.
Yeah, so complicated.
It really is, and generally when someone has a standalone setup, the car is also more complicated.
Yeah.
It's not just like making A to B passes. Most people just want a running car,
Right.
running and driving, and even that is a tall task.
Yeah.
You know, never mind making a pass or trying to break world
Quick
records.
pass,
You know,
yeah.
you know.
Yeah,
So,
for sure.
so ECMLink's just super easy, and that's the reason why I stay with that program, and it's what the majority of people have. Yeah, and
it's tried and true.
and if you're at a level of running a standalone, a lot of times it's like, I should really have my hands in on this car because there's a with ECMLink, it's probably going to be a basic car, be 10-second car, 11-second car, 12-second, whatever. You know, something with standalone, I need my eyes, need my ears. And there's a lot of stuff you have to go through.
Yeah.
It's not just you doing a day.
Right.
You know, and I started getting into selling parts. I used to just send people links. I would read a log and I would see looks like you need this, you're going to need that. This is reading incorrectly, this is acting up, this is where I think it is, you know, talking back and forth. And I was always sending links to people to buy this, buy that for years.
Right.
And I just was like,
It made more sense to.
yeah, maybe I should just start selling this stuff.
Yeah.
So, I set up a couple wholesale accounts. FIC was actually my first wholesale account.
Sweet.
Right at World Cup Finals, I said, hey, listen, I do a lot of tuning. A lot of people always needing injectors. They're on that old school low impedance injector from like 2005 that's been bouncing around the garage and handed me down, sold it. Like I see injectors sold at the shootout, like just laying out on the table. I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah.
So
Covered in dust.
it's like, oh my God. So that FIC was actually my first wholesale account, and then I started getting into other people and actual real companies.
Are you still doing the injector cleaning too?
The injector cleaning, I more do it. I don't like to do it because I don't really have a real way to flow test it the right way, like FIC or ID do,
Right.
and also make the repairs.
Just like a simple clean.
Yeah, so I more keep it low key, and I more do it for myself. And a couple like people, I'll say, hey, listen, you know, if I'm talking to you about, I think something's wrong with your injectors. I'll say, hey, this won't cost you anything. Send me the injectors. I put them in my machine, flow them, boom, run some solution through them, and if I see on the levels that they're all uneven, I'm like, well, okay, or one's not spraying, a terrible spray pattern, whatever, I'd at least be able to identify that there's an issue. Now, if I put them in and they all flow like pretty even, like pretty close, they all look just like a normal SIP does, you know, I kind of save them a lot of money, because when you send your injectors out to be cleaned and tested, you're paying a lot of money.
It's not cheap.
Yeah, so I kind of offer that as like a maintenance, like, hey, let me check them.
Right.
And then it also, the solution I use is just, it cleans them as well. It kind of just, so I've had some questionable ones where I'm like, listen, I got them going good, but these things are I'm not confident
Right.
that I would run these. Would I run them in my car? Absolutely. But yours, I don't want to be responsible.
Especially when you're doing remote. It's,
Yeah. So I send them to. I'll be like, listen, I'll send them to FIC. Just pay their bill. You don't owe me anything. You know, if I'm not confident in it. And so I just offer that to like certain people that because I hate when I'm in my office, my bedroom, on the toilet, at work, whatever. When I'm looking at a log and I'm trying to figure out what's going on, and I'm telling you to spend money, and I say, listen, I'm not 100% sure. Like I feel bad,
right?
You know, but that's just how it is.
You gotta check
yeah.
all the
So
boxes.
I try to help out as much as I can to a point. You know, some people take advantage of that, and yeah, that's kind of where the injector cleaning kind of starts and ends. I don't really offer it.
Do you still do the fuel system, like the fuel line return I bought off of you? Because I know you had sold like the complete kit. At
Yeah, no one really sells like a fuel kit.
Right.
There's a couple companies out there that'll send you a line and injector, but
You got to piece it together.
you got to
yourself.
piece all these things together. You still don't understand. And when you buy stuff from me, I'm like, listen, what do you want to do with the car? What fuel? What power? What turbo? This is what you're gonna need. Like this is it.
Right.
If you have something less, I'm gonna tell you. Like
Right.
I'm at a level now where it's like I don't even want to tune it. It's not that I can't. It's that I just know that I'm gonna try to tune it. It's not gonna work, and then I'm not gonna retune it for free.
Right.
So I like
doing it,
listen,
yeah.
do it right. And I've actually turned people away. A lot of people want to do the ethanol, be about that ethanol life. And I say, hey, no, hold on. Put on the brakes. What do you have? You know, you need to have a lot set up correctly.
Right. And I made that same mistake when you first tuned my car. I had the tank full of E85, and you were.
Would you like let it sit? I'm trying to remember.
Well, you told me to drain it all out, put 93 in there, then we'd get that tuned, and then we'd go start on the flex fuel.
Yeah. I always like to start off with 93,
Yeah.
just mostly because the tune is based on the 93 tune.
Right.
And then when I want to see it, and then we put ethanol in.
Right.
To go the opposite way, it's tough because to get all the ethanol out of the tank, it's like it takes a couple tanks.
Oh, yeah.
You can sit there and drain your tank, and I'm like, all right, let's dial it in on pump gas, and ECMLink's really forgiving when it comes to flex fuel, but how it works. But it's a lot of times people will have a problem with their car, and then it will just I'll say, listen, you need to fix this, and then it'll just sit there with ethanol in it.
Yeah.
Rather than sit there with pump gas in it.
Yeah. I remember you told me to take the reading after I put 93 in, and we were still at like E20 something after I drained it dry.
Yeah.
So.
That's just exactly it. Like it's just tough. I try to get down as low as I can. And now I tell everyone, like even if you're flex fuel, even if you're ethanol, whatever, I tell everyone keep pump gas in the car like all the time.
Yeah.
For what? Why do you want ethanol in the car? But just keep on pump gas.
Especially-
And then when it's race day, let's throw some E85 in
Right.
it.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
And
especially
then
if you're just going
you know, and if like you're going out on the weekend, you're going to party with your friends, you want to go, you're playing around on the street, you're going to the track, run that 93 down nice and low, pour ethanol in it, go race.
There you go.
And then if you don't use it all, drive it until there's nothing left in it, or drain it out, or I drain fuel out of my own cars all the time, just dump them in another car. Coming back from like Florida and stuff, from like racing events and even Ohio, I'll just start dumping it in my truck and my tow vehicle. Like tow vehicles, 36-gallon tank, I'll throw 5 gallons of ethanol in it.
Yeah.
It's not even flex fuel, but just like dilute it, burn it off, get it
Right.
out of here, And
Yeah. Because you can't let that stuff sit. I remember you saying.
Yeah, no, I'll let it sit for a couple weeks, but I have to know that I'm doing something in a couple weeks.
Right.
If I don't have plans for the car, it's out. And maintenance on the ethanol stuff is huge.
Yeah.
And that's another thing a lot of people don't understand. They just let ethanol sit in it, or they start with ethanol. I'm like, listen, get it out.
Yeah. I
You gotta-
remember
you gotta
FIC
settle
saying
it.
my injectors were just
Yep.
just completely black, not flowing at all.
Mm-hmm.
And it was only I let them sit through the winter.
Yeah, that'll eat them up. That'll definitely. So and that's why I started doing my own injector cleaning. 'Cause
Right.
It's like not so much cleaning. It's a bad word to use. Just make sure they still work the same way that they did when I
Right.
first installed them.
Because you can't tune that part out.
You really, there's another part to it that isn't covered a lot, and I don't think people really put it together, is that when you have a wide band in your car, you have a single reading. It's an average out of 4 cylinders. Now, if you have one cylinder going lean, say like 12.5, and I mean, I'll have a calculator. I'm not really good with math on the fly, but really should have written it down before I brought this up. But if you have a cylinder, actually, let's see how close I get. If you have a cylinder at 12.5, right, and you have 3 other cylinders at, say, 10.7, so 10.7, 10.7, 10.7, and 12.5, divide that by 4. That's gonna be your what your wide band's gonna say.
Yeah.
But that 12.5, you don't know.
Right.
You don't know. And when you start playing around with the injectors, when you don't have injectors that are matched, like I've had my failures. I've done my part. You know, I tried telling everyone, listen, you have to be sure. That's why having if you ever see EGTs on each cylinder, wide band each cylinder, that's really what's really going to tell you the story in a log. But we're all running blind here.
Right.
With one wide band, we're running blind.
Yeah.
Like, you don't know. So the only way to fight that battle is check your injectors.
Yeah.
And it's lower power stuff, okay, it's probably okay. And it's why I leave cars fat, it's why I leave timing low, it's why I leave fuel, pump gas, 11.0, 10.8, 11.0, ethanol, 11.5, 11.7. I don't know. That's just an average. And then I'm remote. I don't know.
Right.
So that's that battle. And it's a tough one to fight when you start running high horsepower stuff.
Right.
Because the window, I call it the window for error, is just it starts closing in on you.
Right.
And you have...
It gets so small.
Yeah, it's not as forgiving.
Right. And especially, like you said, if you don't have your hands on it, then...
Even if I have my hands on it, I don't know.
Right.
You know, but usually you can tell, like, the quality of a build, you know, when you start doing this stuff. It's like, all right, you can just look at a car, see the workmanship of what they put together. It's like, all right, they spent some money, they did the right stuff.
Right.
And that's everything. It's
I
like,
might be able to trust them.
yeah. So and that's another thing. Trust, man. Trust is huge. I'll ask them, did you boost leak test your car? Did you set your base timing? And it's all trust.
Right.
So, like we were talking earlier, I'm just big brother, man. Like I already have trust issues, so I just keep timing low, keep everything safe. Like, nope. Let me wait. I actually had a customer here that is in an 11.5 class, and I street tuned his car. Keep everything safe. I'll see you at the track.
Right.
We'll be there in a couple weeks. All right, cool. He comes here and makes a pass. Runs like I don't know. I think it ran like 11.9 or something like that. And I could see it. I could see he was a little disappointed that that's what it ran.
Right.
And he was like, "Hey, I am kind of disappointed. You know, I thought it would go faster, and dude, I didn't even turn the car up. Like, we're good. But
Yeah.
We got this." He goes back out. I think he ran like I really didn't even do a whole lot, but he goes back out, runs like 11.3 or so, 11.4. It's like, all right, see, and I haven't even started turning it up, so give it a break, you know. And then
Right.
he broke out in the class. Whatever happened, he's like, I just want to see how fast it will go. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Now let's really turn it up. Now that
Yeah.
I'm here, we've gone over the car. Let's go, baby. And sent him a 10-second pull. But just like any DSM, stuff happens.
Yeah.
End up blowing the cover off the turbo.
Oh, man.
Yeah, so it's just one of those things. So it's like I purposely leave everything turned down just for safety wise.
Right.
Because, man, I hate people spending money. Like
Yeah.
I don't like it. If you're gonna spend the money, it's gonna be in the right place. So when I'm sitting there turning up a car remotely and you're breaking stuff,
It sucks.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's not a good feeling.
So let's talk about how a remote tune works, because I know a lot of people are hesitant or scared to commit to a remote tune. Will you talk us through it?
I don't know why they would be hesitant or scared, just because it's probably the smartest thing you can probably do when you're building your own car in your garage.
Yeah.
Go rent a dyno and bring your tuner there, or maybe they have a tuner. Go do that for your first tuning session, and let me know how that goes.
Right.
You will need to fix 100 things.
Yeah.
You are not getting a refund. You are going to have to pay again to go back on the dyno.
Right.
For diag. For, oh, nope, can't make a pull, take it off.
Right.
I discourage it strongly. Let me log into the car. First of all, let me look at what you got for a mod list. Let me make sure everything's there. Let me make sure it's tunable.
Mm-hmm.
Let me log into the car. Let me make sure everything idles, the log looks good, everything's good. Then we can start moving forward.
Right.
99 times out of 100, it doesn't.
Right.
Fix this, fix this, fix this, fix this. Get this thing together. Hit me back up.
Yeah.
We'll move to the next step.
Yeah.
So the way it starts is I tell everyone, send me a full mod list. And I'm already going to know. I used to, man, when I started offering to the public, I used to tune everything, dude. Like, no matter what. And I didn't even care. I was like, yeah, man, I'll help you out and get you going. That was a mistake.
Yeah.
That was a huge mistake. Because it's just like, you assume all that risk, all that responsibility, and people just have a certain expectation from you. And it's like, I don't have time to, like, so now I kind of pre-screen everyone. So send me a full mod list. I'll tell you if it's tunable. What do you want to do with the car?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right, you passed the pre-screening. Let's go on to the next thing. Send me a log of your car. I'll make the file based on the information you told me. I log in usually within 24 hours of that file, or whenever you want. We set up a date and time.
Right.
Log into your car remotely through usually TeamViewer. You'll need Wi-Fi and a laptop at your car, and it's just idle. It's just sitting there idle. Let me set up the logging. Let me set up your laptop. The way ECMLink is set up, or really any standalone, you really need to set up your laptop. So I'm not just tuning. I'm setting up your laptop to log all the data correctly.
See all the right
Yep.
parameters.
You have to edit all the captured values, and then not everyone knows how to use ECMLink, so or make a log.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll say, hey, listen, do you know how to make a log? Most people, yeah, we're good. But some people are like, nope, no problem. Watch this. Right on their screen, I take over their computer, start capture, start screen, stop capture, file, save as.
This is how you do it.
Yeah, this is where you go. Send me that file just like any other email you would. Send an attachment.
Right.
I'll look at it, send it back.
Make changes.
Yep. So that's how that whole thing works. And we just go back and forth until the car is tuned. You bring me a running car. If you bring me a mechanically sound, ready to go car, tuned remotely, I could do it in a night. Like, I could do it in a couple hours.
Yeah.
If I have the car in person, I'll be done in less than an hour.
Yeah.
I could probably be done in 30 minutes, but people won't like.
I know we made changes to my car at the
Yeah.
track, and I was in between rounds,
Yeah.
and it was no time.
Yep.
So
That's usually just the process, and then when we get to a certain point where timing's low, A to B, nice clean pulls, fuel trims. I'm huge on the closed loop stuff. Closed loop tuning is basically where the O2 sensor is monitoring the fueling, and it automatically adjusts at idle and then at cruise. One thing I want to address, I don't know, is I require everybody to have a factory front O2 sensor, no matter what. Denso factory front O2, and then a wideband.
yeah, wideband farther down.
Yeah, no exhaust leaks, no problems, nothing. Like new.
Yeah.
That's it. If you do not have that, I literally won't tell you. I won't tune your car.
Right.
Like I used to and do this whole simulation thing, but it's just time. People will simulate a wideband. You're going off one sensor. Who does it say that wideband? Sure, it's idling at 14.7. Who does it say that's 14.7?
Right.
How do you know?
Yeah.
You don't. You have not a clue. I don't know. You don't know. Nobody knows.
Yeah, 100%.
So what I do is I use the factory front O2 and dial in my fuel trims as close as I can to 0%. And that's all I use. That's it. I'm not even looking at the wideband yet. That's what I'm looking at. That's probably the most accurate sensor as far as that goes for these cars.
Mm.
And then I'll take a peek at wideband. Wideband says 14.7. I know that both sensors are reading correctly. So your wideband's right, you don't have an exhaust leak. It's kind of a way to double check each other, like make sure they're both on the same page. So many times I'll have the factory sensor, fuel trim's dialed in nice, wideband reads like 18. Well, first of all, guess what? Cars don't run at 18 AFR. They stall out. But it's magically running? Well, why? Do you have an exhaust leak? Is there something going on with the sensor? If you have Innovate, was it free air calibrated incorrectly? You don't know.
Right.
So imagine if I didn't have that sensor to tell me that was 18. I would be adding all this fuel.
Right, based off of that, yeah.
Based off the 18 number. And then just to get it to read 14. And then really it's not 14. It's probably in the 12s now. But that's not what the gauge says.
Right.
So again, those variables that go into the fueling, and it's huge on that with the injectors, with the sensors. So if I can get those two sensors to read correctly, where they're talking correctly, okay, cool. Let's move on.
Right.
It's my way of verifying.
But like going back to what you said earlier, it's about being safe and keeping people from costing themselves an engine.
Yeah. So that's how that whole thing works. Sometimes I'll simulate for somebody as like testing or like, hey, something's going on for diagnostic reasons, but I try not to. It's just, listen, it's not a smart idea, and I'm kind of stupid for simulating when I first started tuning. Oh yeah, we'll just simulate, no problem, let's go. But that's like me doing it for me when I have the car.
Right.
When I'm remote, so many times I've been simulating, I'm like, listen, I've had to jack these injectors up. Something's wrong. Like, something's wrong with this reading. It's just, you don't know. You just don't know. And another variable to that with the wideband is that you can take 4 widebands, put them in the same exact path on the exhaust, they're all going to read different.
Yeah.
So that's another reason why I keep everything super safe, timing low, let's wait to turn this thing up. So you could have a wideband that's idling at 14.7, you could have a wideband that's idling at 14.3, and they're in the same location. Same brand, same sensor. There's so much risk.
Right.
And something happens, this is just an idle. You start making wide open throttle pulls, that's when you start leaning on stuff.
Yeah.
And coming back to that window of forgiveness, more power, that window closes, bad things can happen.
Right.
And when bad things happen, let me tell you something. It is nobody's fault but the tuners. So it is. So that's why it's like I'm kind of like have to run it this way just for protection,
right.
And then until I can gauge like you as a person, as a customer, like who. Is this guy gonna get all Karen like on me, like if he has to deal with something, or
right.
what's really gonna happen?
Not just protection for you though, but protection from them from spending a bunch of money.
I mean, first of all, let's face it, like it's not my fault. Like
right.
I try to be as safe as I possibly can, but people just love to pass on, like not take any responsibility for accountability for anything they do on their car.
Right. Some
people do, some people aren't. So I'm not just tuning cars. I'm like looking at you as a person. Like, does this person have money to really do what they want to do? How is this person's personality? Like, what are we going to be dealing with? And I've kind of, admittedly, like, I've gotten pretty aggressive with that. Like, like if I don't like you as a person, or if I know that I can kind of sense you're going to be a problem. All of a sudden, I don't tune cars anymore. Like, I just don't want to deal with that. I've dealt with those types of people before. I've been wrong a couple times, but like, I don't want the headache.
Yeah, I mean, you're in a situation where you can choose your customers.
It's not. I would love to help everybody. I would love to sit in Messenger or talk on the phone. I would love to do that with everybody. But I got kind of too popular, and I can't do it.
Right.
It's really tough. So like, it's almost like feeding the birds.
Oh,
you know, it's like you feed, like you start helping somebody, you give a little something, and then it's like one question answered, here comes 10 more.
Yeah.
And I get it, everyone's like in a tough spot, so I kind of take the approach like a little brash, like right from the beginning, like don't fucking ask, like not because I don't like you, not because Not because I don't like you, not because of any of that. I just literally don't have the time for everybody. It's it's really tough. But I manage it the best I possibly can as one person, and not everyone's perfect. So I'm way better in person than I am on the internet. But come say hi.
It's easier to be brash with those people than to run around.
It's just cutthroat.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, like, it is what it is.
Yeah. All right, so look, we talked about it a little bit, but I want to talk about what it takes. What boxes do I need to check before I message you and say, hey, I want to pursue you as my tuner to start doing remote tuning?
I mean, I've been asked that a bunch of times, like a checklist you're talking about.
Right.
Yeah. I don't really do that. I don't. Because every person's different. Like I said, I'm always judging, like, there is a checklist in my head that I go through with you personally. I don't just, like, publish a checklist.
Right.
Hey, go over these things, because, sure, I'm going to give you a checklist, and if you want your cartoons, you're going to answer yes or whatever the hell you want to answer in there. Like, it's the honor system.
Right.
Like, no. I'm going to log into your car, and I'm going to know if you're lying. So it's like, I know I've done this so many times. I go, everyone gets the same treatment right from the beginning, top to bottom.
Yeah.
And that's how, I don't really, so I guess to answer your question, no, I don't, my checklist is in my head. And I talk to you. In every setup is different.
Right.
Believe it or not, as what it may seem with these cars, every setup is different. So,
but
I guess for for the listener, compression test, boost leak test,
right.
Make sure you have oil in your car, just all the basic, all the stuff that you really need to cover. Fresh plugs, make sure there's no leaks, make sure. Listen, if you have fuel injectors, make sure they're brand new. Make sure they're either cleaned recently, very recently, and not from who you bought them from, you personally,
right?
Or you bought them new, and FIC and ID only, or no. it's just the reliability standpoint. There's a couple other brands out there that I've tuned on. We're still working on that. Have an open mind, and have an open mind. Be willing to work on your car. Be ready to listen.
Yeah.
And just
like I feel like a lot of people that you see blow up and do all this stuff on Facebook. They're the ones who didn't take your feedback and say these are the changes I'm going to make. They're the ones who say no, you're wrong.
I really don't run into that a lot. Blowing up's part of the game. That being said, I really haven't killed.
No, but I'm talking about the people on Facebook who are like, oh, don't go to this guy. He's trying to tell me how to do this or how to do that.
Oh, I've seen those before.
Well,
yes.
I mean, you're taking all the experience that you have and trying to coach somebody who doesn't know as much, and then they're taking that as you.
Yeah, I've seen those before. I just wouldn't even try.
Right.
I mean, I've tried before. Maybe it's just offered.
But like you said, you got to have open and be coachable.
Yeah, that's a good word, coachable.
Yeah.
You have to be. I showed up here. Someone was looking like, hey Kenny, can you help me with my car? We had no plans. I want to run my car at the shootout. What can you do? And I'm like, well, I took a seat and I was like, let's see the setup, and did everything I told him to do. I was like, first of all, move your wideband. And second of all, we got to wire the wideband to the ECU. We got a little work to do. Get that done. Do a couple other little things I'm telling you to do. Kid did them. Didn't even ask.
Right.
Didn't argue. Didn't want to have a conversation. Just literally listen to me.
Right.
Boom, boom, boom. What's next?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And then, so when I see that, I'm like, okay, let's go.
Yeah.
And then another thing I should probably mention: AEM widebands. Only AEM wideband I use is X series. Do not use that old school. What is it? A 410 I think is the part number. That old school 3-digit wideband. Do not use those AEM widebands. I even told him, I was like, what wideband you got? And I'm like, oh, man, well, I'm here in person. I can probably like change the voltage offset, and I fought it. I set it up exactly the way it's supposed to be set up. We went out, made a couple street pulls, and wideband just sitting flat 11.7 during pull. And I'm like, well, the gauge says 10.9, and I set it up exactly the way that, so I have to start playing with the voltage offsets to get it to match the gauge. And then that's only at wide open throttle I'm matching. Now we're simulating, and I don't know if it's correct when we're cruising, you know? So if you're coachable, if you listen, if you trust me, we'll get it done. If you just do, and if I see that you're doing, I'll go hands on. I'll jump in there with you. I'll help you out. I put my own money on the line before. You know what? Don't even worry about paying me back. Let's get this, because I cater to the racer.
Right.
Stupid little things, you know. So.
So some people wanted me to ask you about the Fuel Tech plug-and-play systems for the, I guess both DSMs, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you know, even though you're best known for ECMLink, you know what should people choose? And I know I wanted to repeat something that you told me a long time ago, and just the other day too. But to choose your tuner first,
yep.
and then have them tell you what ECU,
yep.
or what have you to go with.
Exactly. What kind of phone you got?
Samsung.
If you know how to use a phone, you know how to text message, change your ringtone, take pictures. I have an iPhone.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty good on my phone. If you gave me your Samsung and said, hey, change this name, change this ringtone, do this, do that, all the basics, I'm going to be like, where do I go? Like,
right.
Where's this, where's that? Versus I pull out my phone, completely different operating system, I'm going to fly right through it.
Right.
So, and that's how it really comes down to with tuning. That's why I say pick your tuner. It's not that like, I mean, everything out there has their good and bad, you know. So always pick a tuner first. Someone you trust, someone that you know is gonna fit your needs. People go and buy, they'll go out and buy Haltech, for example, or AM Infinity. Hey, who out there tunes this? And then guess what? Remote tuning probably isn't going to happen.
Right.
I mean, it could, but then you're only picking one, you know, versus trusting someone that's a lot local to you, so that's feasible that you can get your car tuned.
Right.
But I personally love Fuel Tech over a lot of the other standalones. Not so much for me, but for the DSMer that doesn't want to spend, you know, $1,000 some dollars doing ECMLink when they're trying to start off with finding an EEPROM ECU, for example, for a 2G. Go on classifieds, finding a 2G EEPROM ECU. It can be very, very hard.
Yeah, for sure.
You find one, you're gonna spend $300-ish. You're gonna have to send it out. Like, you're gonna be like $400 or $500 into it after shipping, repairs, socket, blah. ECMLink, then you have to buy the chip. It's another $545, and then you're $1,000+ into it. So a lot of people, when they're spending that type of money, they're like, oh, I kind of want to go with standalone. And Fuel Tech's very affordable. Tom's probably going to send me a message if he ever listens to this. He's probably going to yell at me for Nah, but ECMLink's great. Listen, let me tell you, if you have a DSM, just get ECMLink. Trust me, it'll be a lot easier, a lot smoother. Like, that's just, but if you're that racer that needs that extra, you need the inputs, you want the fail safes, you want all that stuff, Fuel Tech is what I'd recommend. I run it on my car. I got into it because a couple of customers, old customers of mine, they were just finding the limit ECMLink, they want to switch over. I said, let me look at it, let me play with it. I got it, ran it, learned pretty decent with it. There's always I still learn stuff on ECMLink still to this day. So Fuel Tech was pretty cool, and I was like, all right, you know what? I'd start recommending this to someone that doesn't want to spend, you know, $2,500 on like a Fuel Tech setup.
Right.
on a Haltech setup.
Yeah.
Because Fuel Tech is the ECU and the dash display all in one. It's all in one.
And you don't like if you go through you don't have to go buy a custom harness.
So yeah, and I do. I kind of got in it and I kind of got out of it with the whole harness thing. I did one car, worked out great, and but not much traction with it, to be honest with you. But it's a pretty easy harness to do. There's a couple different ways to do it, and I'll make them for you. And that way, the right way to do it is just redo your whole harness. But someone that wants to get up and going, I can make you a plug and play jumper harness that plugs right into the factory connector, right into the fuel tank, and let's start tuning. Little extra wiring to do, like for power and ground and such, but
nothing overwhelming.
When you look at the money that you spend doing that on like a fuel tech setup to get what it offers, it's, if you're willing to do the little extra work and you're not scared of a little bit of wiring, it's pretty badass.
Oh yeah.
So I have it in my car. I love it. I'll still keep running it. And you know, like I said, the best way to do it is just replace your whole harness. But you know, these harnesses are like tired.
Yeah.
What are we at, 30 years?
Right.
Yeah. So think about that. What a harness, and then however many people have been in there with that harness.
And hacked it.
Yeah, and it's like,
Twisted
okay, we can make it plug and play, but listen, here's how you really want to do it.
Yeah.
And half the harness that's in the car you don't even use anyways if you're at a standalone level.
Right.
So all that weight just floating around in there. Yeah, it's a little windy, huh?
So some people wanted me to ask, you know, what vehicles besides DSMs can you tune support for? And I wanted to add this in because we talked about it a little bit yesterday. People could, well, let's say somebody has a 3G or 4G or whatever, people could come to you and then you could point them in the right direction still, even if you don't want to touch their car.
Yeah, no, I always point, if I don't do it, people think you're a tuner and you can just tune everything. It's not the case. So I guess what other vehicles I do?
What other platforms? Like I know somebody with the Evo 10 was looking for a more affordable tuner.
You know, yeah, no, I don't do Evo 10s. What I'll do Evo 8s, Evo 9s on open source. I actually do ECMLink for Evo 8 only. Just plug in, it's a 2G EEPROM ECU converted for Evo 8 pinout.
Wow.
Done. Yeah, so it's pretty simple. But open source on the Evos is just cheap. It's easy. It's not easy. It's not for them, but it's you're talking like maybe $150 investment to tune on an Evo 8 or on a factory ECU.
Yeah. That's killer.
Yeah, great. Find someone to tune it. It's open source. It's a lot of people want to tune their own stuff too, so they're sitting there trying to figure it out. I mean, I tune on it, but I will not do it remotely. I will not. You can brick an ECU very easily if you don't do the right thing. If you have logging wideband onto the laptop requires a different harness. Yeah, it's not just that you wire it to the ECU. At least not that I figured out. And admittedly, I don't do a whole lot of them because I kind of just stay away from them.
Right.
The Evo 8 has flex fuel, Evo 9 has flex fuel, but I think only one person has figured that out. So, and it's with DSMs you can do open source too, but that definition, that open source stuff for the DSM is junk. So you really want to if you have a DSM, a 2G, just put it on an Evo 8 ECU if you wanted to, save a little bit of money. But
right.
I can't put it together why someone would want to do that, run that ECU.
Yeah, talking about serious budget build right there.
Yeah. Oh my God, you save a bunch of money. But listen, if you're trying to, if you're doing that because that's what you can afford, let me tell you something. You're gonna have a rude awakening when you start going because you think you're only gonna spend like a couple $100 and then like $400 or $500 for a tune, and you think you're gonna make out good. No, you can keep on going. There's some more stuff that's gonna go on with that car. So if like money's the issue right out of the gate for tuning, I mean, get ready.
Yeah.
So it's just the nature of the beast.
It's gonna make that 150 look like nothing.
No. Building a motor it doesn't look like anything when you actually get going, So, but I do bike stuff. People don't know that I do bike stuff. Kawasaki, Yamaha, Hondas, Suzuki. I do HP tuners.
Okay.
Again, I don't do this stuff remote. It's too much. But yeah, I play around with all that stuff.
That's cool.
I played around a little with like Mega Squirt and stuff on Miatas, like little things, but HP tuners is pretty fun and easy to use. Power Commander on some stuff. I don't do Cobb. That's what I would recommend for an Evo 10.
Okay.
I would do Cobb or open source, but I don't get into any of that. It's a little difficult.
I know a lot of those 428 guys. They run that Mega Squirt. Could they reach out to you?
Yeah, if it's MS3. Yeah, it's pretty easy to do. It's just again just having a working car.
Right.
And no offense to the 428 guys, but if you're building a 428, it sounds like you're already on a budget.
Right.
So
yeah.
It's like, oh man, here we go. And it's not that I'm like trying to put anyone down. It's just it always comes down to money, and people really expect a lot at it with no investment.
Right.
People have done it. You could do it. You're just gonna do it yourself. And it's not me that's really making the money. Like I'm just telling you what you need to be successful. And if I don't, and I try to tune it, and it doesn't work out, things not running right, guess what? You're a shitty tuner, you know? I'm the bad guy, so that's why I try not to.
Yeah.
But all you could do, you know, like, what's it, you miss 100% of the shots
you don't take,
yeah, just ask, man. Worst case, I say no. Or I can point you in the right direction.
Yeah.
I'm not that mean.
So I wanted to talk about some of the cars that you've had your hand in that are on the MitsuTimes list, because I know I think Mike Lester is one of your big a friend of yours, and he's got a fast car.
Yeah, he's still trying to get his stuff together. I actually just blew him off yesterday. He's like, Kenny, man, I'm busy. I'll see you in a little bit. I'll come find you. He's like, all right. And I'm like, damn, I never even see this guy that often.
I mean, he's definitely got a fast car.
Yeah, Mike. That car should be that car's been pretty fun. Mike's a good guy. He's been through a lot with that thing. It looks great. We did talk about when I came up here. I was gonna come up here a little earlier and help him out. Maybe just go through it, but it just wasn't in the cards. But yeah, I should probably talk to him and find out where he's at. I don't even know how to answer
Last year was the same thing for him, though, right? Because didn't we push it out of the shop the Thursday?
Yeah.
He was racing by Saturday.
Yeah. What, Lester's car?
Yeah. What?
No, I think his car was just down the whole time.
Was it?
Yeah, no, It was down. It wasn't even done.
Okay, maybe that's what it was.
Yeah, it wasn't even done. It wasn't even close. Still, it's technically not even done. But, yeah.
Yeah.
I gotta talk to him. Way to put me on the spot. Thanks.
All right, so let's talk about what products and services that you want to offer in the future, or maybe you've already got some plans to offer some, or something that you would just like to do.
Oh man, I kind of started a couple other businesses, and I really don't have like a lot of time to do like really expand or really get into it. Mm-hmm. So just keep it simple, man. I just want to tune cars, come hang out, do race car shit, and just play around, man. And like I said, I cater to the racer, man. I cater to the competitor. I think putting up times is stupid. I think chasing personal bests and like, let's go to the track and run a PB. It's like, for what? Like, let's get raw. Let's compete.
Right.
You know? Like this kid I'm tuning today, I was like, listen, what do you want to do? You just want to race your car? Like, or do you want to win shit?
Right.
Dude, I want to win. I could tell. I'm like, dude, let's get it then, you know? And so he's on a piece of crap AEM wideband. I'm simulating all this other crap. I'm like, dude, whatever, we'll get it done. He's like, I don't even care if it blows up. We'll just get it.
That's the kind of thing we're looking for.
I'm like, all right, yeah, and those things don't blow up, those customers. But yeah, I just want to keep it simple, man. Tuning, advise you of the parts that you need. I'll go through your list. If you have a question like, hey, I want to make this amount of power with my car. What do I need for fuel system? I'll tell you. I'll ship it to your door. You'll have it in 2 to 3 days. Like I'll just. It's very easy to me. Like I've done everything. So although I know what's out there, I know what's available, I know what works, I know what doesn't work. I'm not some guy that you just hit up and say, hey, like a lot of sales guys that are out there selling parts, they'll just sell you whatever.
Right.
Hit a quota or hit a certain profit margin. They don't care.
Or
They'll just sell you stuff.
Yeah.
Or they're not even familiar with the part. They'll just sell it to you.
Right.
Like, good luck. I'm out. Nope. Just sold you the part.
Yeah.
You know. Like,
good luck.
no. Like, I go through someone's mod list. I'm like, that doesn't work. It's not going to work for what you want.
Right.
So what do you want to do? And we can either keep it turned down, and you can run that, or but yeah, the parts stuff, I'm pretty active on. You know, it's pretty fun to do that. I like building someone's setup. I like that stuff. So just the tuning and the get you the right shit that you need.
Oh yeah.
That's it, man. And then just like when we meet up, just bring whiskey. Surprisingly, I have not done any drinking this weekend, and I think it's due to the weather because no one was partying last night.
We were over at Ong's, man.
Yeah.
He was celebrating his PB.
Oh, all right.
Yeah. I don't know. Somebody got a hold of some moonshine over there.
Well, we're in the right part of the country for it. Right?
Yeah. Corn everywhere. So if someone wanted to get a hold of you to get started, what's the best way to get a hold of you?
Email me, Kenny@justthetune.net. Shoot me an email. And don't sound like the EPA. Dude, I've got a couple of those things, man. I'm like, I just tell them, like, dude, this sounds just like the cops.
Right.
They're aggressive, man.
Oh, yeah.
Probably doing this podcast. It's just...
They're actively hunting out there.
Yeah, man. Just doing this with you is like incriminating myself. I'm going to be in jail next week.
They just got those, you know those guys that put the LS in the Tesla? They just got those
I've never
guys
seen
on
that.
YouTube, yeah.
Oh, they did?
Yeah.
Dude, man, they go after people.
Yeah.
Who the... man, I don't even know what that's about. Probably a kid I'm tuning. Probably his class is called. He's probably freaking out.
So yeah, email's the best way to get a hold of you.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, email Kenny@justthetune.net or hit me up on Facebook if you're not blocked. That's the best way. If I could address that real quick, my block list is long, and it's just because sometimes I don't even have to talk to you, man. Sometimes I just see people acting a certain way to other people.
Yeah.
I'm like, I never want that person to message me.
Right.
See you later. Or like, yeah, man, sometimes people just go off the deep end. The for sale ads, someone's selling a car. Take time out of your day to hate on somebody that you're because you think he's asking too much for selling his car. It's like your life is dull. You're doing what on your free time? Like you're hating on this dude. Like I never want to talk to you.
Yeah. If that's the kind of person you are.
Like if the mentality's so contradicting because it's like, all right, if someone came to you and say your car, how much is your car worth? Right. $4,000, right? Yeah. If someone came to you and was like, I'll give you $12,000 for your car right now, what are you gonna say?
Hell yeah.
Yeah. All right. But that same person that will say, hell yeah, not you, but that same person that says yeah.
Yeah.
They'll hate on someone for listing the car for $12,000 that's only worth $4,000. And it's like, I'm sorry, but just because you can't afford it doesn't mean someone else. I mean, someone else can.
Right.
Look at the
$46,000 bring a trailer car.
Yeah, dude. Like, what?
Yeah.
Like, that's crazy,
exactly.
You know? So, like, taking your time out of your day to hate on somebody and, like, the gossip and the drama, like, so that block list, like, you can message me on Facebook, but if you're on that list, I probably don't even want to, like, ever deal with you. You've already made your bet.
Yeah.
So, but there's still a lot of people that aren't blocked, so.
For sure. And a lot of people who are going fast who, talk to you all the time, so.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. So if somebody out there, they just bought a 2G and let's say it's close to stock, I know it's probably hard to find now, but what advice would you give them to get started so that they're not just going straight off the deep end?
Listen, let me tell you something. You could try not to go down the rabbit hole, but you're going to. Like, I don't even know how to answer that question because, like, it's like one of those things, like, when you're good at something and you know all the things that are going to happen. It's almost like I wish I was, like, I sucked at my job because I wouldn't know these things. I'd be like, oh, yeah, just do this, you'll be good. Like, no, like, if you buy a stock 2G at this age, pull the motor up. start going through it. Even if it's a factory like rebuild, reseal the whole thing.
Yeah.
Dude, it's just bring 10 grand. I hate to tell you, but it's like even for like the basics, like just bring 10 grand. Now if you just want to enjoy your car, man, like sure, I guess we can like. First thing I would tell someone to do is get ECMLink in the car. Number one, maintenance, huge. Timing belt, head studs, spark plugs. Some things I can't recommend just in case the EPA is listening. Just figure out what power you want to make. Most people like 300 horsepower, throw a 16G on it. And a decent fuel system. And a clutch, and enjoy it until all the other things that break. They're gonna happen. So, yes, that's it, man. That's a tough question to answer. As simple as that might sound.
So, what is it that makes you focus on the DSMs?
Dude, they're badass cars. They're like Subarus are different. The motor sucks. The Hondas are different. The most of them are all open deck. You have to. Listen, one thing I'm jealous about the Hondas is the aftermarket support.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Insane, dude. If we had that with DSMs, like, what's a Honda at that point? You know,
right.
like
even the engines that aren't as popular still have way more aftermarket support.
Dude, the old school B series and stuff. Man, but yeah, no, it's a 4G63. The 4G63 is a badass motor. It's a 4-cylinder. You can push out 200 horsepower out of each cylinder pretty effortlessly, in my opinion. It's a closed deck block. It's cast. Like, let it eat till it cracks. Usually they crack, 700-800 horsepower. You start running that, but yeah, man, like they're just a badass car. The only thing that they don't have going for them is
aftermarket support's waning.
No, the transmissions, man.
Yeah.
It's a battle and a half when you start making some jam, and you can't get parts for a lot of this stuff either.
Parts
so
drown out.
yeah. But also, best movie in the world, Fast and Furious.
There you go.
That was a 2G Eclipse.
Yeah.
I didn't see no freaking Honda showcasing that thing,
That's right.
So yeah, badass car, man. There's, in my opinion, there's for like an import, a '90s car. We're at that level. We're at that level of age that, I raced down at. I brought my 2G down to Freedom Factory for the spectator drags. Do you know how many people didn't know what kind of car that was? A fucking Eclipse, dude. They're like, what is this? Is it V6 swapped? I'm like, what? I'm like, oh my god. No one knew what. So we're coming to that point where when we were kids, looking at like the old classic cars, like, what is that? And the old timers, what do you mean? This is a 79.
How do you not know?
Yeah. So that's kind of what we're coming up on, man. Like when I rolled in there, they're like, what is this? So '90s cars are making a hit right now.
Yeah. So
the people that know what they are respect them, and yeah, it was pretty cool to deal with all that. But yeah, it's just, man, this as far as a '90s car go, it's my bread and butter, man.
Yeah.
And it's what I'm good at.
I mean, if anybody has any doubt that they're badass cars, take a look at this parking lot right here.
You really want to know, go to World Cup finals, watch the cars that run down the track, see which ones are from the '90s. All right, not this new EcoBoost shit that's out there now with all that. Go to a '90s car, see what's on that list.
Yeah.
We're still trucking, man. We're still up there competing with these guys.
Right.
Volkswagen ain't there.
Right.
Hondas are there, unfortunately. Because
they're still a little behind Devin, but they're still there.
Yeah, Devin's got all the weight on his back.
Yeah. That's why I told him we're all riding his back. We're on his shoulders.
Yeah, don't let us down.
So let's talk about your background in Mitsubishi cars, because a lot of people seen your red 2G at the Freedom Factor, but you also had an Evo and a 1G that was, very successful in spectator drags as well.
Yeah, no, I've had, I think I don't know what it was. I think it's like just like genetics, I think, bro, because I think I just got my license. I was 16 and a half, and I was driving like my mom's car, and I was like, oh, I really wanted a car. I don't know why, but I went past the dealership, and I seen a 1G with the bubble on the hood, and I thought it was the coolest freaking thing, dude. I was like, that's my car, no other car. I didn't want a Mustang or a Camaro like everybody else. I just wanted that car, and I had no idea why.
Yeah.
That was just my car I wanted. And that was when I was 16 and a half, dude. And then I just never stopped. I've had so many different DSMs. It's just what I've had. It's what I've always done.
Right.
Super discouraging when I started actually making serious power with one, finally. And I started just going through manual transmissions, and I kind of got out of it for a little bit. I'm like, listen, I'm not about that life. Like, have you ever been to World Cup finals? I don't know if I asked you that. Listen, it'll change your perspective on building cars instantly. Because those guys go through motors and transmissions like every other pass.
Yeah.
And they're just like, oh, no big deal. And I'm like, wait, what? They'll throw another one. They have other ones ready to go in. I'm like, holy crap. So I kind of got out of that. It was like, all right, DSMs, I'm not really about that life. Like that, and I had an Evo as well. And I was like, I'll stay with the Evo. It's a pretty cool car. It's newer.
Right.
It was just at the first time where I couldn't get parts for the transmission. Evo 3, input shaft, all the other stuff, like discontinued, can't get anymore. It just didn't look very good.
Right.
And I was like, I'm gonna go with the Evo. At least they still make parts for it. And that's the reason why I got out. I was doing 3 transmissions a year. I just wasn't about that. As easy as it is to swap in and out, I used to spend the money doing transmissions. And anybody that's listening that's building manual transmissions, I don't know if I'm gonna get like in trouble for this, or probably gonna get, I used to spend the money on the best of the best stuff for the transmission stuff without going to dog box. Do all those little bells and whistles to try to hold it together. And it came to a point where it's like, it just broke just like the stock stuff, So it's like, nope, reuse as much as we can factory, replace what we need to do. It's going to blow up anyways. Right. Save me some money.
Yeah.
And that's where I just got tired of doing it, and tired of breaking them, and I got out of it. And one day I don't even know, I was logged into a car remotely. I was doing some tuning. The guy was at the track. I didn't even know it was an auto because I really didn't tune a lot of autos. This was many years ago. And he hits me with this like almost 9-second pass. I was like, how you, what? Like, what am I tuning? Like, what's going on? Because I don't see these cars.
Right.
And he's like, oh yeah, it's this. Sends me a couple photos. I'm like, an auto? I'm just tuning the engine. And he was handling all the auto stuff.
Yeah.
And it was like, what's done with the auto? What's done to it? And he's like, listen, man, not a whole lot. He's like, I was going to ask if we could turn it down a little bit because I don't know how much longer it's going to last. So I was like, what? Are you sure it's And then it was like stock auto, man. And then I found out that's what woke me up. I was like, whoa, wait a second. 4G63s are badass motors. I love them. And that's what got me back doing DSMs. I was only off for like a couple of years.
Yeah.
But I was like, oh man, I'm about that auto life now.
Yeah.
Sounds a lot cheaper. And it is, dude. It's crazy cheaper. More reliable, a lot faster. Not as fun.
Yeah.
As
and you won't get those cool dyno numbers.
No.
Yeah.
Oh my god, no, not at all. But you'll get those cool ETs mile per hour. Though.
Yeah, exactly.
And your bank account stays more positive because you're not doing transmissions.
That's right.
So, but I just want to give, I got out of the manual transmission game at a time where the boosted makes a plate that goes on the end of the transmission that I guess helps keep the gears engaged correctly, because I was just blowing third gears and fourth gears and just shattering.
Yeah.
Just shattered. Never kill the transmission on a launch. It would just be raw power. Like,
right.
Boom.
I mean, look at how many manual transmission problems we've seen this weekend.
Yeah, it's just the nature of the beast, dude.
Yeah.
So boosted makes a pretty cool plate that I guess keeps the engagement of the gears. You know, you'd have to ask them about it, but I've tuned a couple cars with those plates, and I've pushed them, and they'll break.
Huh.
Yeah. So I'm like, okay, maybe I'll build a manual transmission, but I'm still like PTSD on that.
Like,
Man.
yeah.
Like,
Right at the end of the tunnel, bro.
I'm like, I don't know, man. Like, and then when you look at what you have to spend to do a manual transmission, and then you look at what you have to spend to do an auto, it's significantly cheaper.
Yeah.
And that's the name of the game, man. Like, go as fast as you can for as least as you can.
That's for sure.
If you just,
that's what makes DSM so great.
That's it, you know. So, but apparently that boosted plate is the fix to my issue.
Hell yeah.
Wasn't available at the time.
Yeah.
I was shattering them, or I would have done it. But they figured it out.
Awesome.
And it seems to be working.
So let's talk about your goals and what events you plan to attend. I mean, this year's pretty much over, so we could talk about next year.
This year's not over, bro.
Well, close to it.
No, it's not.
We got FL2K, World Cup. Let's say,
no, man.
What events do you plan to go to where somebody could bring their car and have you tune it in person?
Well, I wouldn't recommend that. If you bring it to the event that I'm going to in December, I'm holding nothing back. You are going to waste your time trying to race me. And that goes for anybody and everybody and every car, not just Mitsubishi, everybody. Yeah, the Freedom Factory.
Yeah.
They're doing the spectator drags there, $15,000 on the line.
It's going to be you versus Mike at the end?
I don't know. It could be.
Yeah.
It could be, but that money brings some pretty cool cars.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm bringing everything I know how to do.
Hell yeah.
Like everything. And, I really hope I can get my car together in time.
You made it close last year, right?
First time I did it was the 2G. People think like the 2G was like had anything. It was a toilet. I pulled that car out of the woods and bought it for just to go like race my local spectator drags.
Right.
Just to screw around. And then when Cletus came out with that, they're having theirs. I'm like, oh well, I'll just run this up there real quick. That car cost me $500. I threw methanol in it. I did. It was bone stock. So I threw methanol in it, coilovers, clutch, fuel system, injectors, pump, head studs, and some eBay front mount like intercooler with the blow-off valve, and 100% duty for the boost. And I just went down there, dude, and I was just ripping it. And it looked like an 11.5 car on street tires. And that was a fun car. And then when I had to race that C8, I turned it up. Because, I'm going to lose, right? So,
might as well.
Yeah, let it go, man. So, going back to, not to get off topic, but going back to that reliability standpoint we were talking about earlier, why I keep cars turned down, it's even my own car. I don't run things hard. I keep everything turned down.
Right.
On purpose. Because I know anything's possible. That window we're talking about, I keep it as large as I possibly can. Keep it turned down. If I know I'm going to win, I know I got this covered, it's turned down. Like, it's not running on end. People think you just run a car in the end all the time, every time. Okay. Spend 10, 20 grand every single year rebuilding what you did, and then we'll see what you do.
Exactly.
Well, I give Mike a hard time. Dude, my buddy Mike Vincent has a 3000 GT. I'm like, dude, turn the car down, man. Like, what are you doing? He's like, I'm making poles. I gotta make sure it's good. I'm like, no, dude. Like, take the power out of it. Like, he drives every day too. He's like, nope, kill all the time. I'm like, okay, let's see if that matches your bank account.
Yeah. and those parts are even worse.
Yeah. So
price and stuff.
So he, but anyways, so yeah, I keep things turned down until I get the opportunity where I think I'm gonna lose. or know it's going to be a close race, then it gets it all. And I knew that C8 was, I know I was in trouble.
Yeah.
So I was like, let's go. I turned it up, made it a couple laps, and then Rod was like, peace. See you later. Everyone thought it was like built and shit. I'm like, dude, I told him, actually, I went down to that first event with every intention to blow that car up. If it made it, I was going to be like, okay. And I even told Mike, I said, Mike, this is your event. You're going to win. You got slightly faster car because we're doing draggy numbers. And I was like, hey, anything's possible. I'm the backup plan. That's what I am. But if I had made it, I was going to run that car on its burnout pad until it did not run anymore. That was my plan. It's like, just exit it, see you later. It's a $500 car with some bullshit I had laying around. Like, I don't care about it.
Yeah.
But now, look at it now, it's like, there's like 10 grand into it. So.
But I mean, it's going to be a serious contender.
Yeah. The 10 grand's actually on the small side of actually building a car. But yeah, now it's going to be legit. It's going to be a fun time, man. I can't freaking wait. I hope none of those guys listen to this. Hopefully you're still like the little guy that no one listens to because I shouldn't even be talking about it. I'm going to destroy everybody.
Hell yeah.
That is my only plan for this year. And building the car for one event, I don't even know what I'm going to do with it after that. So it has no purpose.
Just that event.
Yeah. I'm going to own everybody I possibly can.
Hell yeah.
But it's a Mitsubishi, so it'll probably go a couple rounds and break. That's just how it goes.
Yeah.
It's why I'm trying to get the car done, man. Like, yeah, it'll probably be running in a few weeks, but that means nothing.
Right.
I still have to break it.
Yeah.
Like, when I build a car, I'm not done. It's not race ready until I break it and fix it, because it's gonna be something.
Right. You gotta find a weak link.
I have to.
Yeah.
And winter's coming, snow's coming, so like, yeah, cool. People think you build a car one time, they're ready to go. No, dude, we have to break something.
Yeah.
Somewhere, somehow, someone did something.
And
Something's weak somewhere. Yeah, something happened. Like, so I gotta figure that part out too.
Yeah.
That's why I'm building 2 of everything: 2 motors, 2 transmissions, 2 everything, ready to go.
Hell yeah.
As soon as it goes, new one goes in.
So what about early next year? Well, you just said you don't know what the.
I don't even know.
Past that is.
I'm kind of past like racing. I like heads up stuff, man. That's the type of stuff I like doing. Heads up.
Yeah.
Heads up, compete. I don't care what we're doing, dude. We can get out of here. We can go. Like, listen, let's go get some. Yeah, dude, foot races all day, baby. I'll own you. I'm a bigger guy, but listen, not all my life. I'll run. No, like I like to compete. I like to have fun. I like the friendly competition. I like the rivalry competition.
Right.
It could be raw. It could be mean while we're competing, and then be cool after.
Yeah.
You know, like
Flip a switch.
let's go. That's just who I am. That's who I have always been, just with everything, not just like racing, but just like anything in life.
Yeah.
Like, what are we doing? You know, let's get it. But I don't really have any like next year. I don't really have any plans. Take vacations.
Yeah.
That's it, man. Like, wait. We'll see how this goes. I'm really hooked onto the what Cletus is doing down there with his events.
Yeah.
No, he does some cool stuff, man. And I'm like super jealous. 'Cause I'm like, man, if I live closer, like,
Be doing this stuff all the
yeah,
time. Yeah.
But I don't know. It's almost like when you live somewhere for so long, you just get used to it. But people think, like, oh, you live here, that's awesome. It's like, no, I've lived here forever, not really.
Right.
You know, so it's like new to me. So it's fun.
Right.
When you do something for so long, it's just like, kind of takes the fun out of it.
Oh,
you know?
for sure.
So I always try to look for different angles
Yeah.
to like have that fun in it.
Yeah.
That's what it's about, man. Just enjoying life, having fun. So the repeat stuff all the time. It's like, oh, I've already done that. That's why I don't even race at my local track anymore. It's
Right.
like, nah. That's why I don't really even drag a race anymore. I know what I can do. I'm not like pushing any limits.
Mhm.
So it's just not fun.
Yeah.
So
Makes sense.
enjoy life.
Yeah.
Hang out with you guys.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Shootout for sure next year.
Yeah, dude, I go to shootout all the time.
And I'll see a World Cup in a few weeks.
World Cup's gonna be nasty.
Yeah.
It's gonna every year I say that it's gonna be nasty.
I can't wait. You're not the only person this weekend who said, "Man, World Cup's gonna change your life."
Yeah, not just like on a. I know we talked earlier, but like World Cup, man. Okay, you see these guys every now and then. You see a 7-second run out here.
Right.
You go to World Cup final and you see a 7-second run there. Nobody cares,
right.
dude. Like,
just gonna yawn.
Get off the track so the real cars can come. Like, why are you taking up our time?
Yeah.
Like, we won't even finish watching the pole.
Somebody was telling me to set at the lights for when the bikes go by.
Yeah, dude, they're moving, man.
Yeah.
Moving. Cars move. Cars are over 250 miles an hour. You know what the coolest thing about World Cup finals, I think, as far as on an excitement level, is when the front wheel drive Hondas or the imports race the domestics.
Right.
That's the coolest thing because you won't see anything like it.
Yeah.
And then the reaction from the crowd, you will never hear anything like that either. So what will happen is the domestics get out front. They're light years ahead, right out of the gate, right? And then here comes the little Civic, so far back, and he's freaking moving.
Just rolling them in.
Yeah, fast too. And then you see it. So you see it from the beginning. You see it like go like this.
Yeah.
And then it's like, and the end of the track's coming. So everybody stands up. And then when if the Civic gets around him before but then if the the Mustang Camaro when a domestic wins, right. Everyone's like, because like they're so far back, dude. Right. And it's like the comeback from the century, and it happens a lot. It's pretty cool to watch.
And that's the best story.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Because you love to see the underdog.
In the stands, people don't even know what they're betting. $1 bets all day.
Hell yeah.
Left lane or right lane, which one you got? Okay, $1 bets just in the stands, just $1 bets the entire event.
Heck yeah.
And it's just like cool,
Yeah.
Every now and then someone gets ballsy. I'll do 20, let's do 50. They don't even know what they freaking cars are. They're just like, I don't know, like let's just bet. It's an awesome time, man, and it's raw, up close and personal down in the pits. Really cool event Jason Miller has there. I think he actually just got that track, bought that track back. I think he used to own it, sold it, and I think he just got it back. But that event is badass, man.
Oh yeah.
Bring clothes and get a scooter because it's a long walk if you're late.
I learned this shootout to buy a pit bike. I'm already messaging people on Facebook Marketplace right now.
They won't let you bring it in. I'll tell you off.
Okay. Gotcha.
I got away. Because when you want to leave at the end of the night, and if you're parked down at the end, it's a long walk. It's a couple miles if you're way down there.
Okay.
Yeah, and sometimes it can get cold.
Yeah, that's the only part I'm not looking forward to.
Yeah, so just get there early. Park up close.
So I always like to talk, especially with, you sponsor the 2G category. What do you think the future of the 2G list looks like? We've already seen a little bit of shuffling. Obviously, no one's going to beat Devin, but Mike, he's going faster and faster and faster. So what do you think?
Dude, to be honest, as I know, like, you asked me that question, I don't even know who's at the top of the list. So I'm different, man. I don't follow people. I don't follow people's, like, things, like cars or...
Yeah.
I don't do any of that, so I don't know where people are at. This is actually my first time ever looking at the list, man. Freaking sponsor, I don't even know who's on it. I recognize a lot of the names here.
But, I mean, unlike the 1G list, the 2G list is very active. I think that's what makes it like one of the most exciting lists.
How many of these cars are active? Because what are we talking about separating here? This is Devin's at 6'9". Yeah, 6'9", dude.
Yeah.
Jesus.
And he says it's got a 6'7" in it.
I bet he does, dude. And you know what? You're probably going to see that as World Cup Finals.
That's what he said. He's saving it all for
Yeah,
World Cup.
yeah.
He's going to turn it to 11.
Yeah, World Cup Finals was the event where everyone was trying to run that 6 for stick shift class.
Yeah.
And I think the Supra did it first. Granis, the orange Supra.
Yeah.
I think he did it first. And then Grubworm Tick Performance did it right after, and then Devin did it. I think those are the 3. But you had 3 6-second. They were all pushing for it. But that class, is just fast.
Yeah.
World Cup Finals, the breakout for the street class, I think it's 8.3. So it's the street class.
Yeah.
So that's what makes me like I want to race with these guys, but I can't afford it.
It's gonna sit in the passenger seat.
This is like so it's easier just to watch. It's like one of the only events that I really even watch there, and even then I don't even watch it. Honestly, I don't know. I can't answer that actually.
Yeah.
I don't know where people are at. I don't know. I don't really follow other people their moves. Go through here. But it looks like Devin's going to be there for a long time.
For sure, yeah.
I think Mike Wooler's a staple in number 3 spot. I don't think anyone's going to touch him. What does he run? 7.5? Yeah, see, so then the next person is Brad Gary with his 1.5 60 foot. Doing 7.9, and the next people down are 8.5.
Yeah.
That's a huge... To go from 8.5 to 7.5, it's a lot of money.
Yeah, a lot of money. That's what I was going to say.
And I'm pretty sure a lot of these 8.5, 8.6 guys are going to probably... What are they, autos? Yeah, look at them. They're all autos. Auto. Manual. Who's the other manual? Oh, Mike Wagner. Yeah, so a lot of autos in the 8.5. So easy to do. 8.5, 8.7 in an auto with like a 68, 70. Dude, freaking easy. Easy. But then so looking at that list, it's not a lot going into the, I don't think, go like to dump into the 7s.
Yeah.
It's $100,000.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
It's what it's gonna take.
I mean, when you look at those guys who are running 7s and see the kind of equipment that they brought with them, I mean, you can tell.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know.
Like I said, when you go to World Cup finals, man, you go through the pits. People ain't showing up with trailers.
Right.
They're bringing like house machine shops. They have everything to do everything to build a car. The people that pit at World Cup finals and build those cars to go that fast, they have more in they brought more than most performance shops friggin' have.
Yeah.
Like they bring everything. And like I said, dude, it always comes down to money. How much money you willing to spend to go that fast?
Right.
Money, and then grinding. Grind hard, man, because you're gonna be putting in work.
Right.
Social life gone. Personal time,
Gone.
work, dude. You better have a certain lifestyle to be about that life.
Yeah. For
And
sure.
then the knowledge of, and you only get that knowledge from failing.
Yeah.
Failing over and over and over and over and over again. Just like when you learn to walk, man.
Yeah.
It's the same shit. And when you know how to walk, you gotta learn how to run. Then you need to learn how to run fast. So that's why when I went there and I looked at that, I was like, I am not about to waste like 10 years of my life, 15 more years of my life to do that. I kind of look at everything like a business now. Like the return on the investment on that just isn't there.
Yeah.
So I would never.
Right, for sure.
It's just like I'm gonna waste so much time and get nothing for it. It's like, no. But that 2G list is kind of tight. You know what's really cool is the 8.5 area on that list. Looking at that,
Yeah.
that's a cool throw down.
It's
A lot of cars.
It's nice to see them
Yeah. I know Ryan and Mike had a good little battle going for a while.
Yeah.
And they're pretty good friends, and they have one's auto, one's manual. So it's pretty cool to have them go at it. It's a cool little battle. But that whole 8.5 group, like I said, it's very easy to get a car to run 8.5 that's auto. It's kind of effortless. Like if you hit me up, it's like, hey, you want to build me an 8.5 car? You want to build me a car that can short track? Like I'm like, oh yeah, let's do it. Well within my abilities.
Hell yeah.
It's just how much money you want to spend.
Right.
And it's crazy to say shit like that because, dude, man, like 5 years ago, well, maybe a little longer.
8.5 was unheard of.
Dude, well, it's just, it seems like 10 years ago, a 10-second pass was like, wow, you're fast, you're awesome, you're really cool, dude, 10 seconds. You're on a 10 now, no one cares.
Right.
You shouldn't even care.
I remember coming to my first show was like 2009, I think.
Yeah.
If you ran a 10, you You were a big dick.
Yeah, no, not anymore. You run a 10. Everyone's like, okay.
Wow. Good for you.
Yeah. So like to run a 10 is just like easy. I mean, it's not even a 10. It's like not even whatever. I mean, if you can't run a 10, like you got a long road ahead of you, especially the information that's out there now. I mean, I come from a time where we didn't have when I was doing these cars, there was no DSM. I'm sorry, there was no internet. There was no, can't go look things up.
Right.
I mean, you had like VFAC and a couple of little things and like the forums.
Yeah.
But even then, knowledge was limited.
Right.
Some of that stuff that's on that site now doesn't work today.
Right.
You know, so it's like.
Or it's completely false.
Yeah, it's just not good. So it's But yeah, dude, if you run it, if I feel like 8s is the new 10.
Oh yeah.
I'm sorry. 10s was the new is the new 8. Did I say that right, or am I
8s
backwards?
is the new 10.
8s is the new 10. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. 8s is the new 10. So if you can run an 8, it's like, all right, badass.
Yeah.
But still, even then, it's like, Devin ruined it for everybody.
For sure. Yeah.
Mr. 6. Yeah.
Hopefully he digs deeper though.
Yeah, it'll happen.
I want to really make those Honda guys upset.
You only push yourself, to go faster, or just in life. You only push yourself to be better at anything based on your surroundings and like competition or like the environment. It's the only way. It's just the competition.
Yeah.
And World Cup Finals is going to be the competition for him.
Yeah.
Like, hey, that's where he's going to be pushed.
Yeah. And that's why I'm kind of glad he's taking FL2K off now, because now he can focus on World Cup.
See, I mean, he's probably a little bit more experienced than I am, I would say, So, but the way I look at it is like, I would at least want to make a hit.
Yeah.
But just to see.
I'm sure they have a track run.
Yeah, maybe.
In between.
But I would want to make a hit and just bring some shit. Make sure. Get it out of the way.
Yeah.
But like I said, you bring everything and more to World Cup Finals, it gets fixed there. Everyone brings everything to be up and running.
Yeah.
So
I definitely want to take a look at their hauler when we get there at World Cup and see like how many transmissions, how many transfer cases, how many engines, how many heads does he have.
go over to freaking Rafe's area right now.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, there's probably 4 billet blocks just sitting there, ready to go in. Not blocks, like head.
Yeah.
Like ready to go. Like let's drop it in and go.
Yep.
Not that they would probably do that. I think if one of them failed, they would just pack it up.
Yeah.
Because the shootout, and it's like, it really depends.
I'm gonna do all this for $1,500.
But listen, Rafe's crazy, dude. Like, you see the passes that were going on. There was like 3 buy runs in the quick 32.
Yeah.
There's 3 buy runs. Guy pulls up, doesn't even make a pass, just kind of cruises down the track. Next guy pulls up, buy run, just rolls down the track, break the beams. Rafe pulls up, he's on a buy run, frickin' burnout, all the way down the track.
It was like a 7.
He's like, I remember we were eating dinner last night, and he tells me, he goes, he's like, dude, I don't even care about winning. I just want to he wants to win. He's like, I want to do both. He's like, I want to win, but I'm here to run my car. Let's go. Let's go. Yeah. If it breaks, whatever. We'll just fix it. But I'm not gonna let out for nothing.
Hell yeah.
So I like that mentality. That's why he's a good guy.
Yeah, for sure. And he's doing great at motivating all the other Evo guys to come on, let's fucking go fast.
Yeah.
Let's be about it.
That 7-second list looked impossible for a while.
Yeah.
Now I think we had my list has 5 cars on it. The world's fastest.
Right.
Yeah, I think there's 5, 7 cars on there. They're all here, but they all push each other.
I mean, for anybody who's listening who isn't here, there's a sticky note next to Rafe's dash display that says, "Don't shift until 12,000, you pussy."
Yeah.
I mean, that tells you everything you need to know about Rafe.
Yeah. It's cool to see people do stuff like that. That just you can tell all right, he's out here to win, and the other guys that make their buy run, it's all right, they're here to win. They're saving their car.
Right.
They know. See, that should already click in a lot of people's head. When you make a buy run, you don't run your car, and it's those people know they put in their time, borrowed time, window for error. It's not it's not if it's gonna break, it's like when.
Right.
And you just know. I remember one time at World Cup Finals, Rafe comes around, perfectly good running engine. He's like, all right, we gotta swap it. And it's like, but it runs. He's like, yeah, but swap it, fresh new one. He didn't end up doing it, but like that's the mentality. It's just like, all right, start fresh.
Yeah, I want to be the best.
I'll qual with this motor, and then I'm gonna run eliminations with this one. A lot of, and that's how the environment is there. Not just that's everybody.
Like I went over to Nick's pit after he had a good clean pass yesterday. He was unbolting the turbo.
Yeah.
What are you doing? I want a new one.
yeah, dude. Yeah, it's crazy. That's what will wake you up. It's like, all right, do you really want to freaking try to be running? I think I'm just going to build an 11.5 in this car.
Yeah, for real.
You guys do that, I'll be over here.
I can't afford to have 7 spare 78mm turbos.
It's crazy. And the disconnect that I think a lot of people have with that is when they're building a car, they think you build one motor. They think it's built, it lasts forever.
And that's it, yeah.
Like, dude, I freaking wish. and the cool thing what Cletus does with his videos is he's super transparent and shows everything that happens. Yeah. He truly shows the failures. If you watch his videos, he'll show you like, oh, this failed, that failed, this failed, that failed, and he doesn't hide or hold back anything. And if anybody really wanted to know, like, follow that progress, he'll show you like this is what he put it all on the internet.
Yeah.
It's like this is what it takes to do this.
And I love that he doesn't put companies on blast, but he's like, these are the parts I used.
Yep.
These are the ones that failed.
Mm-hmm.
This is the stuff that's been working.
Yep. That's why when we first started this thing, injectors, I said FIC, ID. Like that's what I tune on.
Right.
There's a reason for it.
Yeah.
I will throw them out there. I've done a couple cars with the Alpha.
Yeah.
I forgot his name. Starts with an S. I think was it Skylet? I can't remember.
I'm not sure.
So his injectors, dude. I'm probably just making freaking. His injectors seem to be doing pretty well. They when I'm tuning, and also FID. They seem to be okay too. But everything else, like the precision injectors, misfires out of box brand new. Like why?
Yeah.
I don't even do. And that's that car. Then touch it. I was like, I'm like, dude, can we at least get another injector? Like, I don't even know. And we're on ancient injectors from like 1995, and then we're on a wideband that's like doesn't even log correctly.
Right.
And I'm like, oh my god, but all right, like you know.
Right.
I've never taken cases like that.
I know it was a long time ago, but when I first hit you up, I had those Deutschwerks injectors, and you were like, no, buy some FIC.
What year was that?
I think it was like 2018, maybe. Whenever we first got started.
2018, I may have tried. I might have been like.
I think we did try, but then we were having problems.
Right now, I don't. I see it, and I'm like, nope.
Yeah.
Nope. Yeah, DW, Precision, anything that's like eBay. And dude, people get by. People get by. They'll buy the Bosch $300 2150s. It's fine. Okay. Like I just won't do it. Can I? Absolutely. But are you gonna be mad at me when shit's not tuning right? Like, yeah, probably.
Yeah. Or when your engine
breaks. And it's like I do my part, and I just let you know, like, hey, listen. And people aren't trying to hear that.
Probably, yeah.
And then you get the people out there like, oh, they're fine. Some reputable people will be out there and suggest some stuff, and it's like, okay, they're fine. Yeah, okay, they're fine for you. Mm-hmm. Great. And you're gonna put them in someone else's car, and you're gonna. And then when something goes wrong, are you gonna help them fucking build it?
Right.
Like, probably not.
Right.
Like, don't recommend stuff like. I do all kinds of crazy stuff with my own stuff. Like, oh yeah.
But you know what works and what doesn't work.
Yeah. Even then, I spend the money. Even then, like, I just want to do it right. I hate working twice.
Kenny, is there anybody that you want to give a shout out to for helping Just a Tune become what it is and become so popular?
Man, dude, just everybody that has given me the opportunity to trust me with their car, man. Like, that's it. Without them, I'm nobody. You know, and to work on it, to be able to tune everyone's cars and deal with all the different complications and different problems, as negative as I might make it sound like, that's like, oh, I try to look at the good of it, because it's like, all right, I've seen this problem now. We've resolved this problem now.
Right.
So the next person that has this problem,
I know what to do.
more than likely, I mean, I hate spoon feeding, but more than likely it's going to be this. Check this out. You know?
Right.
So when you deal with all those failures and issues, and you can pass that knowledge on, you know, directly.
Yeah.
Thank you for doing what you do. No one else is doing this stuff, you know. People that do stuff like this is the reason why it drives other people.
Oh yeah.
I want to move up the list.
That's why
I want to push out harder.
Yeah.
It works, dude.
Yeah.
It works.
I mean, that's what, you know, Jason Fletcher, that's what he tells me all the time. He's like, man, I just want to move up the list.
Yeah,
You know?
you want to see the list. There's
Yeah.
something that they're working towards something. They're just not some just doing something, you know.
Well, Kenny, you're one of the first sponsors to come on the website, and you know, I can't even express enough how much I appreciate that. You know, the website definitely wouldn't be what it is today without your support. So thank you so much, and you know, I had a great time doing this interview. I learned a lot. I hope a lot of people, you know, you've taught me so much, not just through this podcast, but off air, and you know, you're just a wealth of knowledge, and I hope that a lot of people hit you up and try to get their car tuned by you, or at least, you know, pick your brain a little bit.
Sure.
Thank you for listening to the MitsuTimes podcast. Check out our Instagram and Facebook for daily updates. Get added to our list by going to MitsuTimes.org and clicking Submit a Slip. Thank you to all of our sponsors.